Lithuanian infantry advances. The objective is to quickly take an enemy position. These are just exercises, a rehearsal for what may be a real war, because it's clear to these fighters and to many Lithuanians that the world has changed in a year. Routine training now means much more for these men and women. As they see it, Lithuania's very existence depends on it.
I feel that in my soldiers, I feel in myself that motivation is even bigger, and our mentality grows bigger because the neighbor is nearby. And what we do really big work into our individual skills. For example, surviving as individual. And of course, we are always aware and always prepared.
Lithuania is a member of the European Union and of NATO, which provides a political and military shield that Ukraine did not have when it was attacked a year ago. Yet, the war has shown that much remains to be learned. The NATO forces deployed in Lithuania consider it vital to observe the Ukrainian troops and integrate the tactics with which they have managed to face the Russian invasion. Our NATO hosts ask us to use first names.
When I look at our simple tactical level, is what you see, what you can do with not that many personnel, but with a lot of perseverance. But also combining it with modern drones, modern technologies, to set up the preconditions for a good fight. I think that's one of the things that mainly stands out for how they put up a really brave fight now in the Ukraine.
Increased tensions in Europe brought on by the war in Ukraine have driven Russian chauvinism. In the Duma, Russia's parliament, a proposal has been introduced to reverse the 1991 decision to grant the independence to Lithuania. Moscow made a similar move in the run-up to its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Russia's assault on Ukraine has not only forced the Lithuanian authorities and NATO to react, but society in general. The Lithuanian Riflemen's Union is a group of male and female volunteers who undergo military training on weekends. Many of them say February the 24th, 2022 was a turning point for them.
That day, there was many discussions with friends, with family. What would you do if something like that happened in your country, because that is very realistic. And I felt like the answers of running away or hiding wasn't for me.
Lithuania, with fewer than 2 million people and armed forces of just over 20,000 troops, is worried about Russia's refusal to back down, despite the weaker than expected performance of its forces in Ukraine. Lithuania's border with Belarus, a Russian ally, is also cause for concern.
We must look at our own security, at our own borders. We have Kaliningrad in the west, and we have Belarus, which is hosting huge contingent of Russian forces and is supporting Russian aggression towards Ukraine.
With NATO forces on Lithuanian soil, the confrontation between Russia and the West has one of its lines of contact in Lithuania. A scenario almost identical to that of the Cold War, a scenario full of tension and uncertainty over what many see as a possible conflict, for which this small Baltic country strives to be prepared. For Ricardo Marquina in Vilnius, Jon Spier, VOA News.